It's puzzle time, and Sudoku Sleuth has a new case for you. So today's case is different from any others that we have done on this channel, in that the grid that we have here today is a 6x6 grid, as opposed to the standard 9x9 Sudoku grid that we've been solving recently. Now, our cases are often Sudoku variants, meaning they're Sudoku puzzles with a twist that allows us to fill in a grid that's completely devoid of numbers. And once again, we have another such puzzle today with a generous 0 digits in the grid for us to solve. Now, today's puzzle is Spiderweb by, I'm going to pronounce this as asdfqwerguy. Now, presumably his name is based on the first couple of rows on a QWERTY keyboard. I admit it's not so obvious to me why it's named Spiderweb though, presumably because of these arrows that somehow recreate a bit of a web. Right, so the rules for today's puzzle: select 6 digits from 0 to 9 such that each digit appears once in every row, column, and box. So almost Sudoku rules, but not quite, in that, well, 0 for 1 is included, and we get to select 6 from 0 to 9. Arrow digits, if you're not familiar with arrows, they are fairly common, where essentially the sum of all the digits on the arrow would sum up to a value that's placed in this circle here. Next we have Kropki, a white Kropki dot. So cells connected by a white dot are consecutive. Not all dots are given. Helpful not to have a negative constraint. And we also have XV cells. So these two sets of digits will sum up to 5. These two will sum up to 10. And not all of them are given as well. And we've seen both XV and Kropki dots before on this channel. That's all the rules we have for today. So let me restart the clock and let's get to solving this puzzle. So I'm immediately drawn to this arrow, where if this had been a normal Sudoku puzzle, you would have thought the minimum this can be is 1, 2, 3, 4, which adds up to 10. And we can't place 10 in a normal Sudoku puzzle. But today's puzzle is not a normal one. But we are still a maximum of 9. So we know for sure we need to have a 0 in here somewhere. And the minimum this can be coupled with 1, 2, or 3 will be a 6, 7, 8, or 9. Pardon me, I missed a rule. Anti-king. Cells a king's move apart can't be the same digit. So if we use this rule for a moment, we know this digit here, actually, I think it's time for a bit of coloring. So let's color this digit red. Now, where can red be in box 6 in this grid? Presumably, not all of these can be zeros, with the exception of red, so it can't occur on the same arrow. Otherwise, how would it sum up to itself? It's not here because it's already in this column. So this is red, and it's also 6, 7, 8, or 9. So these are not red. Interesting. So one of these has to be red. And as I was saying earlier, you can't have it sum up to itself unless it's joined with zeros. So, right, that's helpful. So that, presumably, that has to be a 0. And this isn't. We need another 0 in here, and obviously because of the king's move constraint, none of these can now be 0, including this one here. So this is actually, in fact, the red cell in there, and that's the other 0 that we have, which sees back down the column, and that's all the red cells and 0 cells done on the right-hand side of the grid. just taking a look at reds at the moment. I'm just looking at the left-hand side of the grid because nothing seems obvious to me on the right-hand side. But if I look at red, you get a surprising amount of information here. So because of, this is eliminated from the row. Because of king's move, red is not in this cell either. So we know red must be in here. Red's not here. King's move again. Red's not here. So we know red is no longer, at least if you look in box 5 of the grid, we know it's not in column 1 because we've already got either 1 is here, second one is there, or 1 is here, second one there. In either scenario, both columns 1 and 2 are taken in terms of red cells. This cell here helpfully eliminates the bottom row, row 6. So that's the only remaining red cell that we can place in this box. And I'm going to call this one yellow. So we know yellow has to be in here. And it's got to be from 1, 2, 3, and 4 to be able to add up to 10 to 6, 7, 8, or 9. Yellow could be in here. Yellow is in one of these two cells. Which eliminates yellow from this row. Let's take a look at this row. So we know yellow is in one of these two. And I'm just thinking, can it really be this cell? Knowing that this is a maximum of 4, and it's trying to add up, well, notice in here, these two cells are not a 0. So it's either 1, 2, and a 3, 1, 3, and a 4, but there absolutely has to be a 1 if this is yellow. Clearly, it doesn't have to be, though. Anything else that's obvious? Not really. See if we can do the same with the zeros, and I suspect we can. So we've got 0 eliminated from row 1. King's move eliminates a 0 from this cell here. So this is actually quite helpful. This is a 0, 5 pair. And we're going to have to place 5 later on in the grid. Although later on might actually be now. Where would 5 go? So 5 is not in here. 5, actually 5, no. 5 could be here. Therefore, these two cells are not 5 and 0. These are not 0. This is 0, but we've known that already. And 5 is in neither of these, but it could be in any of those. That's not helpful yet. Okay. Where does 5 go in box 2? So it's not on these two cells. It could be in one of these two cells. I suspect it's not in here because we're rapidly running out of digits. If you think about it, we need to pick 6 digits from 0 through to 9. We've picked 0, a low digit, a 1, 2, 3, or a 4, a 5, and a 6, 7, 8, 9. And actually, I'm going to color all of them just to see how many more colors do we need still in the grid, and what else can we place. I'm going to call 5 maybe orange. So we know orange is up here. Where can 5 go in this box? sure yet. Right, what other clues have we not used yet? Right, I'm up for a bit of coloring. So I'm going to call this cell blue, this cell green. Actually, it doesn't have to be. These can be orange as well. Let's just remove for a second, pardon me, the coloring for 5. So let's say this is blue, this is green. The reason I'm selecting these two colors is they both see these two pairs. So we know blue and green have to be in here. In fact, we know the order of them. So this has to be green, this has to be blue. And therefore blue and green have to be down here. So blue could go anywhere, and green has to be in these two cells. Green is not here, green is here. Blue is not here, blue is anywhere down here. But similar to what we've done earlier with reds, green now in box 1 can't be in the first two columns. Green has to be in here. And we now know where green is in box 2. And the reason we've got that is we know now because of these two cells that green has to be in column 5 in box 2. But because of this arrow set, we know that green plus something that's not 0, and green is not the 0 either because we've got this 0 in this cell, add up to this circle. So this can't possibly be green. This is green. Therefore, this is not green. This is green. And we've placed all the greens in the grid. Almost. We still need to disambiguate these two at some point. Right, blue here means this is not blue. Blue is neither of these, not that. It's not green. So we know blue is in here somewhere. And the last one that we have in the grid is orange. So orange has to be in here. And down here we know that it must be purple to join all of these. Same here. There you go. That has to be the 0. So if this is a blue-green pair, because neither of these can be blue or green, then 0 must be in here. That's purple. And because it's adjacent to another cell with a Kropki dot, so this has to be 1, and it either blue or green is equal to 1. So that's helpful. We know yellow's not 1. What, anything else we know about the 1? Not yet. So let's just take stock again of all the digits we found. We found 0, 1, a low digit, that's yellow. The 5, that's 4, that's 5. So we need one more digit to uncover. Okay. Largely placed everything on this side. What we need to do is figure out where yellows and oranges go. So whatever cell this is, A, It's in here, and it's in there. And this is, we know is orange or yellow. Let's think about yellow for a second. So this is a 2, 3, 4 set. So what can help us tip us off to the digits that are remaining in the grid? So we know green plus something is equal to this cell, A. And we know green plus something is equal to the same cell A here. So this cell and therefore this cell have to be the same. And we know it's not purple, not green. It could be blue, yellow, or orange. It's not blue. Super. So that's the last digit we need. Because it's not blue or green, it's not purple, it's not red, it's orange or yellow, but so is this one. So this is orange or yellow pair here. This is an orange and yellow pair. This is blue-green, which we've already known somewhat. And this is the last blue that we have. And we now know this is a 1-5 pair. So if this is 1-5, this means this is the 5. That's the 5, that's the 0. We don't know yet the order of these. Sorry, we don't yet know the color of 5. It's a blue or green. We don't know which it is. So that's 1-5 set. So we know that's a 6 at a minimum plus the 2. So minimum here is a 2, meaning 6 and 7 are not valid, and the maximum here is 3. Had we already placed? We must have placed green. So 5 is blue, and 1 is green. So that's 1, 1, 5. And that's the 5, and that's the blue. Done. We know the 0 is in here. And the green is a 1, which is in here. We don't yet know what orange is, so that's the only remaining digit we yet to uncover. And we know what it is. So take a look at this X here. We know these two digits need to add up to 10. And red is not 6 or 7. Pardon me, let me correct colors. So we know red is not 6 or 7. Therefore, this can only be a 2. So yellow has to be 2 with an 8. And that's got to be the 2. That's the yellow. That's the orange. And that's orange. That's yellow. So there you go. We know 1, 2, and we know this is orange. So orange is 3. 3, 5, not orange. And we can probably solve the puzzle from here. 3, 3. 8, 2, 8. And just before I place the last cell in the grid, let me just quickly correct these colors. And that's done. That's a fabulous puzzle today. It only took 18 minutes, or I say only took 18 minutes. It took 18 minutes despite the fact that it's a 6x6 grid, but a really enjoyable puzzle from asdfqwerguy. So thank you so much for creating it for us. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle for today. Link in the description below if you want to give it a go yourself. And see you all tomorrow.